Hey folks, Mel the Train Tutor back in the studio and back with another Let's Make tutorial for you. Yes, we're taking a break from our rock techniques and we're jumping into a little Let's Make. There was an opportunity came up to tackle acrylic battle mats. Now I've been playing with the old ones that we did with all the terrain labs and the 30 or so tests we did to figure it out. It's been about a year, so I know how they handle for the time. So we've decided to put a tutorial together for you. And it's a bit of a win-win because when I was on the Kickstarter campaign, I promised that if I could do an acrylic battle mat section in the book, I would. And so it's killing two birds with one stone. So in this video, we're going to be doing a Burma board sort of jungle battle mat. Now, I want to make clear that this is more of a quick sort of go over of one technique. I am working on a full back to basics video, hour long, with all the in-depth covering green fields and putting roads on and that sort of stuff. But this is a good grounder for you. So this is what we're making. Before we jump into the technique, guys, remember, if you are subscribed, unless you ring that bell and get notifications, you've only actually got a 16% chance or a 1 in 8 chance of actually seeing my videos in your feed. So ring that bell. And if you are going to give this technique a go, remember there's a link down below to the Terrainiacs group. It's 19,000 strong now, so jump in the group on Facebook and post your stuff on there, or post it on normal social media and tag me in it at the Terrain Tutor on Facebook, on Instagram and on Twitter. And finally, if you really like the vids, remember there's links to patrons and PayPal down below. It all helps keep the lights on, the cameras rolling and me bringing these techniques for you. So, shall we jump into it? Come on. So starting off, to create your battle mat, what you need a material to attach your caulking to. And for that, I've gone for this dust sheet. Now this is a simple dust sheet from a hardware store, but what's special about it is that it's plasticized on the back. Now this was a learning point. What I discovered was the first time we did one of these battle mats, I just used a normal dust sheet, a Hessian weave, and the acrylic caulking actually went through it and stuck the battle mat to my table, which is why the table had to be flipped up, because underneath here is just lots and lots of bits of acrylic caulking. So if you're going to do this, you must protect the surface you're laying onto with either a plastic sheet or get a material that is plastic backed. Okay, next thing is you need to pin it down. Now we're using a 2x2 board on this one, yeah, just because it's easier to show you on the tutorial. The techniques that we do and everything we do, that you can expand them up to a larger area with no worries whatsoever, so don't be concerned about that. Yeah, but this just makes it a bit easier for me to show you the techniques. So we're going to start off, yeah, and here's our sheet. It's pulled nice and taut, yeah. The reason you want it nice and tight is as you're spreading the acrylic caulking out on it, what will happen is that you will, it will grip to it. And as you spread it, it can cause wrinkles if it isn't nice and tight. So make sure it's nice and tight, make sure it's well spread out. And then once you've got that and it's fixed all down, it's time to mix up some acrylic caulking. So that's what we're going to do next. Now the key ingredient for our caulking battle mat is caulking, and what we're using is this. This is decorator's caulk. Flexible, paintable, easy to smooth, and it's acrylic based, so it's a flexible acrylic paste. Okay, so what we're going to do is, using a caulking gun, I'm going to empty this into here. And for a 2x2, you really want to use about 1.5 tubes. Yeah, and that's one. And then for the second one, yeah, so we squirt that out. How far through are we? We're about there now. One more. There we go. So pop that out of there. There we have our mass of decorator's caulk, and as you can see, it's quite thick. Okay, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to actually spread out. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix a bit of paint in it. Now this is the base colour for my Burma board. Yeah, so all my Burma stuff, ooh, I didn't mean to do that. All my Burma stuff, yeah, basically goes in this sort of reddy brown colour. Yeah, and I'm going to mix a bit of this paint in with this. Now the key ratio is I don't want to go any more than 10%. Any more than 10% of a liquid, yeah, into the acrylic caulking, and it loses its flexibility and it starts to crack when you move it around and when you roll it up. So no more than 10%, which is about, yeah, 3 spoons. Yeah, so there we are. The next job I've got to do, give it a mix. And all we got to do is just keep mixing this up until it's one big slop. Back in a second, guys. So we've mixed our paint in with our acrylic caulking, and it's mixed well, and it's thinned it down great for spreading, but it's a little bit lighter now because obviously we've mixed it in with white. So what I've got here is I've got burnt umber, which is a nice reddy brown. I'm just going to throw a bit of that in. Acrylic paint over house paint has a much stronger pigment, so it'll be able to carry it and darken it up without thinning it too much. So I'll give this a stir and we'll bring it back once it's been done. That's better. Right, back in a sec, guys. Right, now we've mixed up our acrylic caulking base and got it away from white and into a more browny colour. You're never going to get it to the perfect brown. There's just too much white in it. Yeah, but what you don't want is white underneath your flock and that sort of stuff. So it's always better to mix a bit of paint in. Pigments will work as well. Yeah. But what we're going to do is, basically, I'm going to get probably about half of it. I'm just going to dollop it on there. Yeah. And the first thing I'm going to do is start to spread it out. Yeah, and I'm just using the spoon here, and as you can see straight away, yeah, our gloop hasn't gone far at all. Yeah, throw that on there. And then what I've got is I've got one of these plastic spreaders. Okay, and these are great for this sort of job because they'll allow me to spread it out all over the place. Quick tip, yeah, just wet the blade because it helps it spread. And all I'm doing is just getting it all over the piece. Okay. And I'm going to continue spreading this out until it's all over. So we're getting the last of our caulking out just to cover these last few bits. Yeah, give it a quick smooth out with the spoon just to help spread it out, and then we'll smooth it off with the actual spreader in a second. Yeah. Now I'm going to try and take it right up to the edge on this as best as I can, but it's probably going to get a bit messy. So, back to the spreader. Take it right up to the edge, and I want a good coat all over it. I'm looking to make sure that every little bit, yeah, has a thickness on it that I can't see the weave. If I can see the weave, we've got problems because it's not thick enough. Right. I think we've got all of it. Yeah. That'll do. Ooh. So that's that done. Right, these I've got to throw in my bucket. Clean my hands off because I get very messy doing this. Now it's spread out, I want to put a couple of paths on there. And for the paths, I'm going to be using, just fine aggregates or just a fine sand. And so we're going to go and I'm just sprinkling it down. Yeah, I'm not trying to put it on too thick because the top surface won't grip. Yeah, it'll only grip where it actually sticks to the actual acrylic caulking. So we're going to have a path down here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue the path off here, and then I'm going to bring another path down there. So we'll bring it back once it's done. So as you can see, the sand has stuck really well with the acrylic caulking holding it. Next thing we need to do is we need to create our jungle floor on these areas. And for that, I'm using this. I got it off Amazon. Our Tam gave me the link, yeah. And it's from a company called Suma, and it's just a 1 kilo bag of mixed herbs. And it smells delicious. Yeah, so the next job is this side, and here we're going to sprinkle mixed herbs. So we've sprinkled our mixed herbs onto our base, and the next job is I just want to come along and I want to give it a bit of a pat. The idea is, I'm just much like when we did with the sand, I'm just trying to force that herb texture into the acrylic caulking. So as little as possible comes off when we give it a shake, and it maintains as much of the texture as possible. Yeah, so just tapping it along there, and then same with this side. And I'll just carry on with this and we'll come back once I've tapped it all down. So that's all been tapped down now, and it is the moment of the truth to see how much of our herbs have stuck to our base. So we're going to tip it onto the paper that's just there and shake it off. And the worst thing is I can see how much has come off, but I can't see what's stayed on. So there we go. That is all stuck. Just let me shake that excess off. Just that's caught on that rim there. And there we have it. Yeah, now that is all stuck. And as you can see straight away, you can see our paths, yeah, and we can see our jungle texture. Yeah, I just want to save this up. So give me a second just to tidy up and I'll be back in a sec. So after it's been shaken off and we've left it to settle for a little while, yeah, it has stuck rather well, but we do have some loose bits on here. Also, I want it a little bit darker to match my actual Burma terrain. So my Burma terrain looks like this. Yeah, and as you can see, if I hold it there, there's quite a bit of a difference. Yeah, they're green, that's brown. Now the base itself is just mixed herbs. It's just that it's been spray painted. Yeah, and so for that, yeah, I've got my base, the base brown that we used, that we originally mixed in with our caulking. Yeah, that's nice reddy brown. And I'm just going to pour, yeah, about that much in there. Yeah, I want it to help stick, so we're going to throw some PVA in with it, help thicken it up. Let me just squeeze some of that. Yeah, go on. There we go. And then all we need to do is just give it a bit of a stir. So we've mixed it up and we've got this sort of like browny sort of, it's made it slightly lighter, but I'm not concerned about that. But it's thin enough to go through my airbrush. And an airbrush is the best way of applying this. You can use a squirter, but it's a bit haphazard. Okay, so all I'm going to do, in fact, I better switch my airbrush on. And I'm going to be pumping this out with a rather low air pressure. The reason being is that I don't want to blow all my, all my herbs away. So, pour a bit of that in there. And hope, beyond hopes, that it's not going to dry up or... There we go. Now as you can see straight away, yeah, everything's starting to brown up. You can see the odd little bit of herbs blasting away. If you hold your airbrush up higher, you get less blasts. There we go. You can tell I'm using a rather thicker paint because my airbrush is stuttering. I'm not soaking, I'm not hitting one particular area more than the other. I'm just trying to go over and give a broad covering across the whole piece. So I'm going to carry on doing this and we'll bring it back once it's done. So we've sprayed down all our herbs, we've blown off the excess, and our paint has gone in and it's sealed all the relevant bits. The next thing I want to do is I just want to highlight these paths up a little. Yeah, so we've got the remainder of our brown that we used to seal. And then what I've got here is I've got yellow ochre, which is a very earth sort of colour. And it's a great one for highlighting for things like paths. So, squeeze a bit of that in there. Yeah, just like that. Get my stirrer. Give it a bit of a stir. I'm not sure if I might need to thin this down a little. It depends how it comes out. Now, as you notice, it's already going slightly lighter. I don't want to take it much lighter than that, because I think that's going to do us. Yeah, so, into the airbrush.
You're not putting any glue in that one?
It's already got some in, mate.
Oh, okay.
And then, all we need to do is just spray on our pass. I'm going to turn this down. And all I'm doing is very lightly going over this and just raising this up a bit away from the brown that we used for the actual jungle floor. And there we have it. There's our jungle mat, all done. Yeah, all we need to do now is just leave that to dry. How simple is that? Right, let's come back once this is all dried up, eh? Right, 24 hours has passed and our battle mat has dried. I've unpinned it from our board. Yeah, and as you can see, it is all rolling. Yeah, there's a little bit of loose herbs that come off, but you always get that, especially with herbs. They're a bit brittle. Yeah, but absolutely fine. Yeah, and this will last for ages. Okay, so one last thing that I want to do, yeah, is just very quickly clean up these edges. Now, I could put some tape over and fancy them up, but as this is just a quick one, if you know what I mean, next job is just get a pair of scissors, yeah, and just trim the edges. So there we go, all cut out and looking beautiful. Yeah, love how well this has gone down and bonded, to be truthful. Yeah, I always expect to lose a little bit of herbs. It's happened with all my battle mats, herb battle mats in the past, but I know that the bottom layer will be well stuck. I might even come back at another point and just dress this up a bit, put a little bit of flock on and that sort of stuff. But as I said at the start of the video, I am planning on doing a full back to basics sort of hour long sort of in-depth video on acrylic battle mats. So I might come back and do it on that as well. But the proof of the pudding is, let's throw some terrain on it. So I've grabbed some Burma Bill bits. Yeah, let's throw that one there. Let's throw that one there. Yeah, let's throw some palm trees in there. In fact, let's put the palm tree. I don't want to block it off, if you know what I mean. So if we spin that posticle, what you doing? Yeah, we drop that in there. Yeah, in fact, we've got a couple, so we can put that one there. Yeah, and then a few chindits. Oh, this looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. That's turned out really well. And knowing that I can make a 6x4 of this and put it up and just roll it out whenever I need it, I can't wait for my bench to be clear enough for long enough for me to actually do that. So I'm really looking forward to that. But that has turned out absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, guys. I'm going to take some photos of this and then let's wrap this up. So that's it for this Let's Make tutorial, guys. Hope you found it useful. And as always, if you've got any questions, get them below in the comments. I'm here to help after all. Now, if you're looking for more Let's Make tutorials, there'll be a link on screen to the playlist to check those out. And as always, yeah, if you're new to the channel, there's the subscribe button there. Remember to ring that bell to get notifications. And if you really like the videos, then please check out Patreon. Just $1 a month keeps the lights on, the cameras rolling, and me in here producing these videos for you. And remember, I really couldn't do it without your support, guys. So if you like it, please support it. And if you can't do the monthly thing, then remember there's links down below for PayPal for one-offs, or if you prefer to get kit for the studio, there's the Amazon wish list. And in the meantime, guys, yeah, I'm going to crack on with these tutorials, and I'll be bringing more tutorials back to you soon. All the best. Ta-ra.